Hello everyone and welcome back to this video on study skills. Let's get started on what happens during a good study session. So it's another sunny morning because why not? We wake up, but this time we wake up to our alarm. It doesn't have to be the crack of dawn or 6 a.m. because who wants to get up that early? It just needs to be a time you feel comfortable waking up at, hopefully before midday. The main reason is that you're getting a regular sleep cycle, but also that you know what time you'll be up. Very simple. You know when you'll wake up, so you know when you can start work and the rest of the day can be planned. So you wake up, get up and go to get some breakfast. Try and make it something which will give you energy. It doesn't have to be super complicated, but just something better than sugary cereal, for example, even though that's tasty. My old biology teacher would tell us to have toast with banana and honey on it before an exam, because it gave you everything you needed to get through. Now I use that as my go-to food whenever I have something to get done. It might sound bad to you, but find something like that which you can eat to give your body what it needs so you're not working against it. Again, making your life as easy as we can. So once you've had breakfast, then we head to a dedicated study space. Basically, a space which you associate with studying. This can be anywhere, for example, somewhere in your home, just somewhere that you will associate with work. And that's because environment determines behaviour. That's the first part of this strategy. This is why you need a dedicated study space and why you shouldn't work in bed. Your environment can affect your behaviour. So, for example, if you try to work in bed, that's a place which your brain associates with sleeping, so it's not switched into study mode. You want to have a place which will switch your brain into study mode. When you can't get out of your house or flat to a study space, and if you have to work in your bedroom, then you can try the lamp technique. Essentially, have a lamp which you only switch on when you're studying. When you start work, you switch on the lamp. When you've finished or take a break, you switch it off. This will train your brain to go into study mode when the lamp is on and relax when it's off. If you're working from home or in your bedroom, sticking to a routine and creating a dedicated study space by using a lamp or something similar will really help your focus. Basically, again, we want to make studying as easy as possible. So create a subconscious switch which you can use to put you into study mode. In this example, let's say we're working at our dedicated study space in our room. So, we're at our table with our study lamp switched on. We've got everything we need with us and we get started on our studying. We know what we're doing because we've got a study timetable. I really recommend you make some kind of timetable or plan. It can be detailed, but it doesn't have to be. Find what works for you. I would write out a list of topics I needed to cover. Print out a blank calendar from Google and plot in what topics I would do on what day. I'd make sure to put in days off and when my exam or essay was due too, if I was working towards that. By writing this down, you take the stress away. It means you don't have to remember all that practical information in your head. What am I studying today? What topics haven't I done yet? All it means is you only have to think about the information you actually need. It means you can get all your work done and have time off. Taking breaks is essential, especially during study sessions. That's because your brain can only focus fully for a certain amount of time. We only want to work when our brain is most switched on, because we want to work efficiently and not waste time struggling to focus. Again, work with your body and not against it. So, with that in mind, you need to make sure you take regular and effective breaks. Regular breaks mean that your brain can reset and recharge, but these breaks have to be effective. Sitting at our table or desk in our bedroom with our study lamp switched on, going on YouTube for 5 minutes is not an effective break. I used to do that a lot. Remember, environment determines behaviour, so turn off the study lamp, switch your brain off, get up and go somewhere else. Take your phone and ring your friend, go for a quick run, walk your dog. Just do something which gets you out of the revision zone for 5-10 minutes, depending on how long you think you need. This means you're giving your brain the best chance to perform at its best, which means you'll be studying efficiently. But how are we actually studying? So, a great thing to do is revisit information. You learn something, then a week later you go over it again, then a week later again, and so on. We want to make sure we're recalling information and not just recognizing it. What this does is make sure you're converting information from your short-term memory into your long-term memory. Why is that important? Well, it's because your short-term memory can only hold so much information. It has a smaller capacity. Once you've got too much in there, it's going to start booting stuff out and you'll forget things. Your long-term memory can hold much more information, so you won't forget things once you've been studying them for a couple of months. Instead, you'll remember it right up to an exam and even beyond it. So you'll have some really random facts you can throw into some conversations if you like, and you can use it in any more studying you do. So, revisit information. What else can you do? So a great method is this. Take a blank piece of paper and write every single thing you can think of about that topic onto that paper. You can time yourself if you want, but you can take as much time as you'd like. Once you've written it all out, go over it. See what you've remembered but misunderstood, and what didn't even enter your brain, what you completely forgot. So you know what you know, and you know what you don't know. Not only does this help you keep track of what information you've learnt, but it's also converting that information into your long-term memory. Another great way of doing this is explaining a topic to someone else. This is training your brain to recall information and not just recognise it. Essentially, making sure you actually know the information and you don't just think you know it. I made this mistake so many times at school, where I thought I knew the topic and then I sat down in an exam and I drew a blank. So, taking a blank page and teaching your brain to do exactly what it has to do in an exam, but even harder because there's no question, will set you up really, really well. It means you'll remember what you've learned way beyond any exam or assignment. Now, you might be thinking, this is all well and good, but how am I supposed to motivate myself to study? I have no motivation to do any work. Well, the reality is you don't need to be motivated to study. You need discipline. Now, this is by no means an easy thing to achieve. After 4 years at university, I still wouldn't say I'm 100% disciplined when it comes to studying. But you can work on it, just like any other skill, and train your brain. So, follow this formula. Study plus reward equals discipline. You're studying, it's going well, and then you think, hey, I've done my time for today. I've had a good study session, I've been working for maybe 3 hours max, and I think I've done all my brain can handle for the day. You'll know when your brain switches off. Then it's time to stop and reward yourself. Get your favourite chocolate bar, play a video game, watch a film, do whatever it is you'd like to. Then, next time when you study well, you reward yourself, and again, you repeat the formula. This will build up your discipline over time. Very simple, but effective. You'll be ticking off your tasks in no time. So, that's it. We're done. We've completed our good study session. We created and maintained a dedicated work environment and stuck to a structure with a plan. We made sure that we're learning to recall information instead of just recognising it through the blank paper technique and explaining it to someone else. And at the end of the study session, we gave ourselves a reward to improve our discipline. So try these methods out. See what works for you. Some might work better than others, and that's okay. It might seem odd to take some time to figure out how to study well, but trust me, it is not a waste of time. It can save you hours of work and get you better grades. It could be that you do everything well, but you still get those days or that exam which makes you frustrated. I totally understand. I think really it's unavoidable. But when that does happen, have something ready to remind yourself what it's all for. School is designed to open doors for you, to get you where you want to go. Remind yourself what that is, whether it's an apprenticeship, university, or just to be done with school, and put the bad day behind you. Brush yourself off and start again tomorrow. Not only will you do better in your studies, you'll be learning a really valuable life skill. So, remember, study less, but study smart.